Hello. Good evening. How is everyone doing this fine Wednesday? I hope you're all well. It's a new week. It's been like 10 days since we've spent some time at AC Milan, and so that's what we're planning to do today. Now there is a small little thing lingering over, which is naturally the incredible Barcelona Inter game that's, well, I was going to say last night, but the whole thing, like 7-6 on aggregate over 2 legs, settled in extra time, absolutely incredible. Hopefully we can serve up a little bit of excitement along those lines, but I doubt it. I have a feeling that I'm going to have to embody my inner David Fratesi, by which mean I will come on late on in the stream and I'll be gassed within 10 minutes. An incredible winning goal, but my God, how was he so tired so early? Absolutely crazy. Now let's say hello, because there were some beautiful souls in here. We have the glorious, the wonderful RJ. How are you doing, my dude? We have Blue Lions, we have Zeratul, we have GNG as well. I see that we've got Draw has arrived. We've got Tyreek George fan. We've got Hunter Min as well. I hope you are all doing well. Have your weeks been so far? How was your weekend? There's a bit of the Dutch FM as well. How are you, sir? Lovely to see you. Let me just do a little honours here, because I believe we're going to be quadmoless tonight. So it's fully mod duties on my own. On my own here. Now, if you're not following the Dutch FM, you most definitely should. I mean, granted, it does help if you speak Dutch, but he's a lovely gentleman who is very welcoming and accommodating, and you can generally pick up on the flow of things, largely because swearing seems to be very much in English, and that's what gives you the real barometer for where things are going. Tyreek, thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed the video earlier. If you haven't seen it, there is a new video out on YouTube. Now, I say that, I mean, the stream has just started, so despite popping that lovely little thing in there, I should probably, you know, not be trying to encourage you to leave the stream this early. But I think it should be a really interesting video for a lot of people. It's the 3rd season of our Everton rebuild.
I'm European champion, so I'm not one of the bottle. I think I'm a special one.
Beautiful stuff. Yeah, but whilst it might be the third one, we really explore the history of Moneyball and its application, breaking it down chunk by chunk. I think it's a really interesting video. I hope people do enjoy it. So Hungdamin says that the video taught that playmakers in FM are hard to assess statistically. Absolutely. I mean, there are certain things you can look at. You can look at pass completion to see their involvement in the game, especially for those in advanced positions. In deep positions, you might be looking at progressive passes, but they're not necessarily, your deep playmakers aren't necessarily going to register that many assists, which can be quite tricky. But there are some absolutely fabulous stuff there. So Zeratul, if you had a Serbi last week, you would not have lost in the round one. I mean, if I had basically any players from Barcelona or Inter, I think I might have had a chance. I probably wouldn't, let's be honest. And 7-6 loss with 120% possession is crazy. I love the idea of possession being cumulative. That's amazing. So the beard is making a comeback. It is. It's still a little bit too far away, but we'll get there. We will get there in the end. So Eunice, welcome in. It has been about 2 months since you watched. So how's time with AC Milan go? That's a very fine question, and a fabulous segue over to Let's Catch Up. So here we are. We're in the 1st season with AC Milan, and it's not going great, if I'll be honest with you. I mean, we are 4th. We're 3 points behind Inter Milan, 2 points behind Lazio, 1 point behind Napoli, and we're not quite at the halfway stage in the season. We are the 2nd top scorers in the division and the 2nd best defence in the division. But we have dropped a lot of points, especially in recent games. So our last 3 results is 6 points dropped. A late equaliser by Como, it's 2-2, and then we couldn't score against Udinese at home or Lecce away. And that means that we need to maybe reassess things a little bit. Just a little bit. So, we've been playing a 4-4-2 diamond. it looks something a little bit like this, where we have wing-backs who bomb forwards, a deep-line playmaker at the base of midfield, some kind of support duty role at the tip of midfield, and then a trequartista and a complete forward. We've got players supporting the width, but it's not really been working for us. It's not been working well enough for us. So we'll kind of see how things are going. And what I've decided is that I like the idea of the hidden diamond, the libero stepping into midfield, the false nine dropping to the tip, just the tip. And so that's what we're going to do, hoping that this will allow our wing backs to get forwards a little bit further and be a little bit more aggressive. We're going to try and take a little bit more control of games as we can. So we've increased the passing directness up to standard, but we're playing out of defence. So we're looking to build up from deep, but be perhaps just a little bit more intent with our play going forwards. Otherwise, it's exactly the same as what we had out of possession, counter press, roll out of possession. We've dropped the defensive line. For the first time in this save, we've gone from a much higher defensive line down to a higher defensive line. So we're still compact. It's still 1 degree tighter than the default, but we're not quite as aggressive as we were, especially with Theo basically running around and doing whatever he wants. We're going to see how things go with that. And we head straight into a game against Napoli. So our first game of the evening is the Supercoppa Italiana semi-final. Good quality opposition, but ultimately it's a competition that doesn't matter. So we can perhaps get away a little bit with not necessarily performing.
It's not the statistics! It's not the statistics! You tell me! How do you measure somebody that could balance a balloon in a wind tunnel on a needle?
Oh, Jabbits. Oh, Jabbits, you gentlemen, that's 5 months. That is incredible. Thank you very much for your support. Yeah, so with the Coppa Italia, the Super Coppa Italia even, like if we lose, we lose. It's a chance to learn, and it's something that we can kind of, you know, accept. Not that I'm very good at accepting defeat. Now, let's see. Well, I do have a couple of things. So I really thought I'd get a compliment for my way of playing FM. No, just I swear a lot. You don't swear a lot. Just when you swear, we can tell what's going on. Isn't it better to have that? I mean, if I just said, look, he's really good at FM, people would think that I'm speaking in platitudes. I'm just saying the kind of things that you expect to hear. What you want is the real nitty gritty. That's the important bit. Tyreek George asks, if I ended up doing the planned Luton save, would it have been the same format? That was certainly the intention. So for those that don't know, the Everton series, and originally the plan was to take over Luton and do a full rebuild, a team that has just been relegated, completely refresh and take that approach. The reason why we took over Everton was because I was shocked to see them relegated at the end of the first season, and I think that made a much more interesting challenge given their stature, their history, you know, the team that in real life have never been relegated, a proper giant of English football, even if modern times haven't been so kind. But yeah, essentially we were looking at the same format. Welcome in, Marin. Lovely to see you, my dude. And we've got Yuri in. Now, Yuri, I do want you to lose the Super League. Or more specifically, I think you're going to do very, very well, and I didn't want to play into your ego that early. Right, shall we head on over? Because there was a lovely little mystery minigame redeemed by Zerichal. So why don't we head on over, do a quick round of Guess the Player, and we can catch up as well. So for those that don't know how Guess the Player works, it's really straightforward. You're going to see 4 pictures from a player's profile in FM24, one after the other. You're going to see their positions, you're going to see their attributes, you're going to see their coach report, and you're going to see the clubs that they played for. Your job is to guess who that player is. The earlier you guess, the more points you get. Now, normally, there would be a lovely little scoreboard beneath me, but the scoreboard has been reset. We're into a new season of minigames. So the people who pick up points early on, like in this very, very first stream, are going to go straight to the top of the leaderboard. Just something to bear in mind. Now, the final thing to note is this is FM24 at the beginning of the game in the default database. So if you were looking at a player like Joshua Zirkzee, he'd be at Bologna, not Man United. Just something to bear in mind. So let's let's pop on over and show you the very first clue. Ignore that picture. That is just there as a placeholder. And as we're doing that, I'm going to catch up a little bit on chat there. Mr. Echo is in. Gamma Jobber, Mr. Echo. How are you doing? How are you doing? Lovely to see you. RJ, 1 year in Italy, you're going Catenaccio. Indeed. We kind of, there was a little bit of homage to Italian history with the diamond to begin with. Let's do a little bit more of a celebration of Italian football. Franz Theo Bauer. I love it. Yigit's in. Welcome in. Lovely to see you, my dude. So Dutch says we all understand Dutch one way or another. Indeed. So BNK1223 asks, what custom views do I use for scouting? I very, very rarely use custom views whatsoever. So I do for the sake of exporting stuff to spreadsheets in the few occasions I do, but otherwise I use filters down by statistical basis, and then I look at their profile. So the guesses are coming in now, and I'm sorry for ignoring the ones that came in beforehand. We've got Kyrian, we've got Kalinoglu, got Fratesi, Barella, Fratesi again, Goretzka, Arturo Vidal, Kimmich, Goretzka, Lavia, Coop Miners, Valverde, Orsnes, McGinn, Orsnes again, Garcia, McTominay. They are some fantastic shouts, but are any of them correct? And I hate to do things like this already, but let's move on to the next clue. And actually, let's move on to the clue after that. And the clue after that. Because I spent so long catching up that there was time for someone to get the guess in. And that is a beautiful 5 points making its way to Zerachel. Fabulous work there. It is indeed Frederick Orsnes. Now, let's take a look at Frederick Orsnes now, because he is a mentality monster. Look at that work rate, that teamwork, that positioning, the determination, the decisions, natural fitness of 20. An incredible workhorse at the base of that midfield for Benfica. And a starring player in Friday night's muster draft, winning the tournament for Damien. A midfield that composed of, amongst many other players, Frederick Orsnes. Fabulous stuff, Zerachel. Hiya, Norge, indeed. We are seeing a speed run. We most definitely are. There are the applause coming in from Cockysmilch. Welcome in, by the way, my dude. Applause from Jabbit. Incredible, says Auk as well. That is incredible. That natural fitness makes me wet, honestly. Exactly, Yigit. Exactly. Incredible stuff. Absolutely incredible stuff. Right, shall we head on over into the first game and see how we get on? So there's this, the transfer window is now open. I will talk about that in a little bit now. We're going to be up, I think, Napoli player back 3 themselves. They do indeed. So we've got Esposito and Raspadori. They don't have an attacking midfielder, so that's something I don't feel too worried about there. Who is Hisadomi? Oh, I like this. A 5'9" centre back.
We are in Champions League, man.
That was my next question.
Dong, come on.
Beautiful. Yes, a 5'9" centre back up against 6'4" Joshua Zirkzee. I like this as a matchup, which means we're going to be like 3-0 down within 5 minutes. That seems to be the standard way of things going. So let's run with that. Let's say a couple of things to Theo and Profundi. And here we go. Into our game. Jose Mourinho's Napoli. Playing a 5-3-2 themselves. So, Mr. Echo, you're upset after yesterday's match. Understandable. But believe that if Flick stays for a couple of seasons, we will be monsters. I mean, already an incredible season, I would say. I mean, given where you were just a year ago, this seems like fantastic progress. What an incredible game it was yesterday. Absolutely incredible game. RJ has the same fitness as you. Natural fitness 20 is what I've always said about you. Zerachel, I agree. 1 or 2 defenders and Barca will be a beast. I mean, any team that ends up playing Gerard Martin at left back is struggling. There is absolutely no doubt about that. Even though he picked up like 2 assists last night. Right, here we go. Early doors. Rafael Leao driving forwards. Rafael Leao from distance. Fires it over. That's disappointing. Zerachel does take top of the leaderboard off Quadmo with those 5 points. We need to race out. Let's not let Quadmo get anywhere near it. And there's a goal. Nico Gonzalez. Is that offside, though? Is that offside? He was very, very close to the goal line. Were there enough players behind him? I don't think there were. It's going to be disallowed.
So I'm not one of the bottle. I think I'm a special one.
Oh, that was tight. That was tight. Kusik, welcome in, my dude. Thank you very much. And Mr. Momerman, lovely to see you both, guys. I'm glad you enjoyed the episode. I'm really, really, really happy with it, even if it did take a little longer than I was hoping. Right, can we get a goal? Profundi tackled on the edge of the area. Nico gathers. Theo to Bove. Bove to Xerxes. Xerxes loses out, though. Here is Theo Hernandez, 34 years young, on that left flank. Swings it in for Leao. Leao with a header. Suzuki with an easy, easy claim. So if he has that trait, that keeps him around until 40. He's the ideal mentor. The wants to keep playing until he can. I mean, like 20 natural fitness is absolutely brilliant for it. And that spread of mental attributes is quite something. As Xerxes with a lovely turn, though. He delays the shot a little bit. Seemed a little unsure on his left foot. Block comes in behind for a corner. An encouraging start so far. Here is the corner. Xerxes the target once more. Rafa Marin gets it clear. Got to be happy with that so far. So, Tyrick George fan, your board want you to play super attacking possession football, but I am one of the worst teams in the league. What shall I do? Resign, says Cocky Smelch. Run, says Blue Lions. I think that is a pretty fair choice there. Mr. Echo says, I've never been religious, but Hansi Flick is saint for me. Oh, that's fair enough. That is fair enough. So, BNK1233, you downloaded Musterman Moneyball, but doesn't show in the game. I watched video on YouTube as well. So, BNK, what do you mean you downloaded? Oh, Hasuki off the post. Yeah, what do you mean you downloaded Musterman Moneyball? Are you talking? I don't think there's some spreadsheets which are shared with Patreons. There are some which won't show in the game. I don't, as I say, I don't do views, so there's nothing like that can be downloaded. There are tactics, but there's different ones for different teams. So yeah, give me some more information. I'll see if I can help. But obviously, I'm in the middle of a stream, so it might be a little bit tricky to help. Cool. I'm telling them that I'm not happy, but I am happy. I think we've played very well so far. No highlights, I think, for Napoli so far. Good chance to ruin it all by bringing off Beraldo and bringing on a 18-year-old centre-back. But yeah, let's go with that and see how we get on into this second leg. Beraldo's yellow card. You know what I'm like with yellow cards. I don't like to have players easing off tackles. And I don't want someone having to be passive because they need to be safe. And here's Raspadori with the free kick, sends it in. Profundi gets there first. Now Nico comes away with it. Nico breaking. There's a man in front of him now. Release him. No, he's going to keep on going down that right wing. Nico speeds Leao. Leao picks up a foul from Mimbella. That's a penalty. There's no doubt about that being in the box. Surely not. Here we go. It's going to be Theo. I believe he missed a penalty in our last stream, which doesn't bode well. Boom! Milani Rossoneri. I mean, sure, our goal has come from a penalty. I would prefer stuff from open play, but, we take what we can get. Now, this is nice passing out from the back there from Napoli to start this highlight. Here's foul, sends it in. That's not a good pass, though. Nico to Leao, gets it back again. And he goes back to defence. And then there's a really, really piss poor from De Feo, on as a substitute just 5 minutes ago. Tell him to calm down. As Van Leuven, That was close. That was close. Half a centimetre is offside. That is very true. Semi-automated. Works a treat. Welcome in, Marv. How you doing, my man? How are you doing? So Dutch FM, you said somebody used his channel points for 10 push-ups in my stream. I would pay all my points to see you do that. Dear Lord, no. Absolutely not. I can thankfully, in this situation, hide behind my my heart condition and say that would be a very, very bad idea. As Lee Farrell equalises, that's disappointing. That is disappointing. So, Joshua Xerxes, the player that I was encouraged would be good up front. Actually, no, let's keep him as a false 9. But let's make this Elena Kana. I can cope with Elena Kana being on a yellow card. Sakar Mona is still injured. We're going to bring on Eamon Kari on for Nico. And we're going to drop the tempo. Let's see if we can just get a little bit more control on the game. That's what I'm going to look for. We've seen a couple of highlights for Napoli now in the second half as Profundi absolutely ruins it. What an awful touch. Yeah, I'm going to hide behind my heart condition to avoid doing push-ups. Xerxes with the free kick. And that's into the wall behind for a corner. So, Blue Lions, did I see what Wenger suggested about offsides? He's been suggesting it for a very, very long time. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan, personally. I think it takes a neutral rule and makes it unnecessarily one-sided, which I'm not all that keen on. Right, here come the next changes. It's going to be, I think we're going to make all, we've got 2 stoppages, but I think we're going to make all 3. It's going to be Balieri, Ruggieri, and Royer or Siklic. Siklic is our own. Siklic can come on there. This is what I was talking about with not wanting players on yellow cards. I can't bring him off just after he came on, so but I could, but I'm not that mean. So yeah, the tempo did bring us back a little bit more control, but it hasn't really provided us with any benefits per se. Are we going to throw it away in the last few moments? Then Elena Kana caught on the ball. Scally back to Galina. There is 90 seconds left of play. Scally just drives into the space. Scally to Gusto. Schlager on the edge of the area, and Caprile turns it away. That was a huge, huge chance. Oh my. Oh my. Raspadori with the corner. Looks like far post, perhaps Esposito, perhaps Galina as the targets. No, it's going to the near post. The all gets there. Galina gathers to Scally. Scally back to Galina. Galina, no, 3 players just standing there. Oh no, oh no. This, you know what happens here. Elena Kana saves the day. Right. I'm not happy with that. I'm not happy with that. And we are going to put Elena Kana back on the left.
I'm European champion, so I'm not one of the bottle. I think I'm a special one.
Indeed, I am not a special one though. We're bringing on Bonato. Bonato's replacing Xerxes. It's my fault. I said that Xerxes, 6'5" Xerxes, up against a 5'8" centre-back would be favourable, and he was absolutely shite. Bless him. Bless him. Sikoku Smell signed a wonder kid striker that won 70% of his headers. Around 7.6 per game.
That was my next question.
Come on.
That is absolutely incredible. I'm not surprised you're scared of losing him. Now here's Womslow. Womslow, and we fucked it. We have absolutely fucked it. Oh, come on. So first half we were really, really good. Didn't score. Second half we got a penalty, which it bolsters our XG numbers considerably compared to the opposition. And realistically, since we scored, we've been a little bit rubbish. That said, I mean, they do have 2 goals from 0.68 XG, so I can feel a little miffed, I suppose. Right, let's put these guys in that regard. We're going to pop Kari onto there. Put you more central. Get that tempo all the way up. And shoot on sight. I think we're going to shoot on sight. Let's actually get some shots in. That would be quite nice. That would be, hopefully. So you meant Mustermann Iconic 1.2 BNK. I recommend popping back to the video BNK and make sure you follow the guide on how to extract the skin. Every single time that it's come up that someone has said that they haven't been able to see it in game, it's because they've extracted it incorrectly and not followed that instruction. So go back, double check that you have extracted it exactly as shown. So the very, very same folder path, the way of extracting the file, and see if that will help sort the issue there. The Quers just saw a video on YouTube with this very good looking man, and now I think it wasn't a coincidence we discussed the Moneyball concept last week. Indeed, well, that's what I was saying to you, Quers. That is literally the whole concept for the video that was coming up. And part of the reason why it was taking a little bit longer than I'd initially expected. Right, here's Rafael to Benato. Benato loses out. Thior finds Ruggieri. Ruggieri, can he get a cross in? He's going to send it in. Benato with the equaliser. That's his 9th goal of the season. Beautiful, beautiful. So we have created a chance. Are we going to get anything at the end? No, we're not. We've only got 2 reasonable penalty takers. That is Rafael Leao and Elena Kainer. Elena Kainer with exceptional composure.
We are in Champions League, man.
That was my next question.
Dilly dong, come on.
So we're going to pop him 5th.
I'm
say something
European
like that.
champion, so I'm not one of the bottle. I think I'm a special one.
Right, Raspadori sends Caprile the wrong way. I mean, as we said, we don't mind too much if we get knocked out. I feel like in terms of, we definitely got the nice. I thought that was about to go wide. We've definitely got the skeleton of something that I think should be able to work. So Mr. Echo, you've not played FM for 2 months now, not addicted anymore, not watched your stream for a month, I think. But I still enjoy a stream and I miss this little warm play so much. It's lovely to have you in, Mr. Echo. And it's good to kick the addiction as well. So Marv, how am I? I'm not too bad. I didn't get my nap in today. I can feel the starting of a fever creeping up. Caprile. Okay, hits the dome, he's just missed the penalty, that's fine. But Caprile waits for it to hit the post and then dives the other way. Bless him. Yeah, I can feel the start of a... Oh, carry. Oh, well, there was the advantage. It didn't last long, did it? It didn't last long. Right, Nathan sends Caprile the wrong way. Oh, let's watch Thior miss now. And we won't even get to Elena Kainer. Or Elena Kainer misses the winning penalty. That would probably be right. Right, so here is Schlager. 5th penalty, the last with the regular penalties. Schlager with his left foot sends Caprile the wrong way, and here it is. It is Elena Kainer, the last penalty taker we selected. It's going to essentially be whatever you want from here, and it looks like fabulous, fabulous. Are we back in now, guys? It's saying we're there. Let's give that a try. See if give it a refresh. It says it's connected. I don't know. Right, okay, I'm pausing everything so far. It's back. It is back. Marvellous. Cool. I'm just going to pause then. Wait until go. Elena Kainer did score his penalty. Napoli have scored to make it 5-4 with their 6th. So we should have people back just in time for us to lose. I'm pretty certain we're about to miss this penalty because that would be beautiful. That's the kind of bathos I love. You know, it's here we go. Who is going to take our 6th penalty? It is. Oh dear, they're showing the full walk up. It's Siklic. They're showing the full one up. Oh, what a penalty. What a penalty. Right, Galina. Galina goes. Caprile's the right way, but that's comfortably put away. Comfortably and confidently, as they say. So the suspense. Backstreet's back. All right. All right. I feel like the issue is Twitch. It keeps telling me the page is not loading despite the stream working. So it hasn't seemed to have disconnected on my end here. So it's still up and running. So it doesn't look like my issue. I don't think we had it drop on YouTube either, which seems a bit weird. As Gusto, this penalty shootout's going on for a long, long time. But I am keeping an eye. The upload speed under a meg at the moment, which is a little bit concerning, but full connectivity. So probably when we do have an ad break come in, as Balieri powers it past Suzuki, I will do a little bit of a check on the speeds as well. So I do apologise, Rian. I did see that you did message earlier. You were saying, what got me into the data-oriented approach to FM? Just really an interest in Moneyball and data. As simple as that. Just like, as a Browns fan, Paul Di Podesta became part of our backroom team, and that obviously meant that I dove a little bit more into the Moneyball side of things, just in terms of just general research and understanding. I've always liked the data-led elements of other sports, so yeah, it's just kind of an extension of that. Mr. Momo Man, you'd love to do Moneyball. I hate the fact data gets wiped annually. I know it'd take a lot of storage, but I want the history without 100 Excel sheets. Having to get all the deals decisions done before July pains me. So, I mean, technically, Suzuki should have saved that. Technically, you only need one spreadsheet that you just keep on exporting to at the end of each season. Right, Suzuki. So it's Caprile now. Caprile up against Suzuki. Are we going to go the full round, or is this going to be heartbreak for Elia Caprile? Down the middle, boom. Right, we're back round. 11 penalties each so far. We both missed on the fourth go. Raspadori takes his second, scores his second. So don't think storage would be a major issue. It affects speed of the game more as you'd have to load and read those files constantly. Exactly the issue. I mean, storage wouldn't be an issue, but also it would add to the game file size relatively significantly, as Rafael Leao sends Suzuki the right way, as it turns out. So yeah, I mean, like, having to constantly access it, make it readable. Scally misses. Okay, are we about to win 12-11? Last time they missed a penalty, we missed a penalty. It was penalty number
I'm European
3.
champion, so I'm not one of the bottle. I think I'm a special one.
We are in Champions League, man.
That was my next
Dilly
question.
dilly dong, come on.
That is your fault. Koku Smelch hung him in. You celebrated too early. You celebrated too early
You
with the
are an
soundboard.
ostrich. Well, your head must be in the sand.
Exactly, Wilco. Exactly, Wilco. Right, Eamon Kari missed his penalty earlier. Can he score now? Yes! And we're through. We'll give it a little play again.
We are in Champions League, man. Dilly dilly dong, come on.
Can't take that away from me. You just knew it in advance, Koku Smelch. Just knew it in advance. Never in doubt, says GNG. I'll just say I can't say things like don't get complacent after winning a penalty shootout. But we can. So, generally speaking, there were good things there. We played well. We created a lot of chances. We were really dominant in the first half. We stepped off in the second. We then did a little bit to wrest back some control, and conceded as a result of wresting back some control. And then once we pushed that tempo back up, we took control. Overall, we deserved to win the game. However, we are still seeing the same problems that we're seeing all the way through this season, which is conceding goals. 5 shots, 4 on target, 0.68 XG. Good quality chances, even if there weren't many of them. So I do have to question whether our defense is good enough. We bought Beraldo off, we conceded 2 goals. So maybe there was a mistake there. We did mention it at the time. Eduardo De Feo is an okay centre-back from the looks of things. He looks like he's a player that could become quite decent. At 18, he looks like he's already got some good attributes to him. But you can't judge off 300 minutes. 50% tackle win rate, 62% header win rate. Maybe he's not quite ready. We do have a 19-year-old here as well. He lacks the aggression, but could be an option once he's back from injury. Right, okay. So, let me see. He's back. I am back and we won. Welcome back in, Mr. Echo. Vishnu, how to download this skin. So you can't download this very skin. But this one isn't publicly available. It is available to Patreons. Or a version very similar to this is available for Patreons. There are some slight changes here specifically for streaming that aren't necessarily particularly user-friendly outside of the streaming environment. And it is only optimized at 1920 by 1080 or 1600 by 900. So I wouldn't suggest signing up to Patreon just for the skins. It is part of a whole suite of benefits. Check it out, see if that's something that interests you. Let's see, what else do we have there? The Guja's in, welcome in, my dude. How are you, sir? Lovely to see you. How's your week been, man? Let me just go on. If you're not following Dave, you are missing out. You are missing out quite significantly. You should go give him a follow. His MLS save was absolutely incredible. It's now on to a new save. Lovely gentleman. Beautiful face. The kind of calming, enjoyable thing that you want to see during the course of your week. When are you next on, Dave? When are you next on, sir? So Jake Fair says, you're making backups along the way to save stats from past seasons. Works okay for me. Not optimal, of course. Exactly. My next, interestingly, again, so the next Moneyball Clinic is going to be all about aggregating data across multiple seasons. So for our 4th season with Everton, we're going to be, to try and find those marginal gains, we're going to be looking at some players that didn't play much in the previous season or the season before, but had some very good seasons a couple of years ago, got a big move perhaps, and then were on the fringes, and how maybe we can rescue some players that we have evidence performed well, but wouldn't necessarily come up immediately because they're not, they won't have data for the season just gone, which could be quite interesting. But I say the next video, it takes me a couple of weeks, so you know how we're going with that. Right, okay, guys. So we have a break coming up. I think that's basically because the stream reset on Twitch, because it does seem to be a little bit early, but I'm out of snoozes because I used them all last Friday. I used one during the penalty shootout there, and that's it, gone. So I will see you guys in about 3 or 4 minutes. See you then. And we're back. And as we're back, so I did move the game on just a little bit, like 3 hours or something like that. We've had a bid for Santiago Heze. Well, we've had a couple of bids come in now, which is marvellous. So it's a good time to talk about transfers. When we left off the stream last, not Friday, but the Friday before that, it was like the 28th of December. So we haven't advanced much off stream, but we do now have the transfer window open. Santiago Heze asked to be transfer listed earlier on in the season because he wasn't playing much. We've been more than happy to oblige, which is marvellous. He's got quite a bit of interest. So I accepted one bid from Al Qadsiya. I've then asked Al Shabab to pay more, so we've just offered out once again. So hopefully we're going to be moving Heze on. We're also potentially looking to move on Stefan Bajic as well, another who requested to leave and then rescinded that request, but we're still going to get rid of him anyway because he was being a moany little bastard. So Bajic is going. Marco Massi will be our backup goalkeeper. He spent the earlier part of the season out on loan at SJK, where he was fine, 19 years old. If we can find a goalkeeper, we might well send him back out on loan. We're certainly going to be sending him back out on loan next season regardless. But for the time being, should more than keep us tied over. And then we've got Theo Hernandez. Theo Hernandez wants to leave. His contract was due to expire at the end of the season, but we had a extension clause on there. So we've triggered the clause. We had a bid from someone. Is he on there? We had a bid from Al Hilal for 6 million, rising to 7.5. We rejected that, but he put up a fuss. So we said 10 million. I say 10 million pounds. That's because I've been doing the Moneyball in England. Let's change this back to euros. I don't know what that is in euros, to be honest, but we will have a quick little look there. It's going to be what, around 11.75? It is 11.75. How about that? Some on-the-spot conversion. Beautiful thing. Obviously, Theo is an amazing player. Absolutely incredible player. 5 goals, 9 assists in 1,200 minutes. So that is, what? That's 300. That's like 14 full games. Basically a goal contribution every game so far this season, which is astonishing. Astonishing. So I would be loath to lose him, but we do have Rogeri, so that's okay. We went through at the end of our last stream, we went through our scouted players, and there weren't many. We have in total 581 players that our scouts are aware of, which is a relatively small list. That small list means that we don't have many players for us to look at, but we did shortlist a few. So we've got scout reports going for this lot here. We'll see how things go from there. Jens Kajuste is a player whose contract is due to expire. So the fact that from a statistical point of view, he's doing a lot of everything, and we're going to lose Santiago Heze, I have put a contract offer in for Jens Kajuste. If he agrees, we might activate it now, see what the buy now price is, because I think he could be more than serviceable for what we do. I am trying as much as possible to stick to that kind of like Milan way of having a good core of older players. So that's kind of our hope. So we'll see how we get on with that. So I do apologise. Let me catch up a bit on chat there. So Mr. Echo says, sell Beraldo and we'll be fine. This is the problem we have at the moment, is that players that are, oh wow, yeah, 9 million. That'll be 7.75. So that's cool. We can accept that one. And let's carry on this little bit of back and forth between the two teams if we possibly can. Can we get 9.5? Yeah, so because we don't have that many potential replacements out there in our scouted players, I am a little bit cautious with selling players that are going to very much be part of our first team, because I don't know if we necessarily can get replacements at this point in our time with them. By the end of the season, once we've been with AC Milan for a whole season, that list should be a little bit closer to about 800, 1,000 players that we know about. that we can then sign from that list. So I might feel a little bit more comfortable. We do obviously have the director of football we can ask as well. So there might be some options out there. So we're probably going to have to put up with Beraldo for at least a season. Empoli an offer for... Is his contract expiring? No. Then we will keep hold of him. That's fine. Not accepting loan offers for my backup goalkeeper. If you want him, you can buy him outright. There we go, 7 mil. And we'll see how that goes there. So let me just catch this. So Mr. Moman talking about Power BI. Yeah, be great on your CV to develop some Power BI. Excellent data analytics skills. Absolutely. I definitely would be using that on your CV if you can. If you've got, I mean, even if it's just basic understanding of SQL and Power BI, definitely looks good. Right, Vicente Pizarro, transfer value at 120 million. That's definitely not something we're going to look at. Against Kajuste, fully scouted, that's fine. Cole Palmer is interesting. Cole Palmer's been pretty damn good for PSV Eindhoven. He's generally a player that I feel was a little bit underserved because his explosion in form came after FM24 was released, but he's doing quite well. Excellent finishing, excellent balance and agility as well. Could play up top as a false 9. 19 goal contributions, 15 so far this season. Generally speaking, been playing well. At 49 million to 71 million, not something I'd want to activate right now, but that could be a consideration. Shelderup is also at PSV, where he's been scoring like crazy. Is he playing as a striker? You've extensive knowledge and you can't tell me where he's been playing? Yes, you can tell me. Cool. Okay, as an AML. Has been playing in his preferred position and is scoring goals like crazy. 44 to 54. Estimated wage is quite reasonable as well. Shelderup could well be an option. So Santiago Heze is the Spanish Eberiche Eze. Possibly indeed. Getting rid of Messi, how very FIA of you. Indeed. Well, I'm pretty certain the only reason I loaned him out to begin with was it's too raw, isn't it? I mean, how many seasons ago is that now? That's got to be like 4 seasons ago that Michael Massey became infamous, shall we say. Oh, bids for Eduardo Bove. 40 million plus 15.5 if he plays 20 games. You'd expect he would play 20 games. 29 years old. He is good. 74% tackle win rate isn't great, but he does the pressuring. He has been scoring, has been creating, has been covering those lines. So, ooh. Now, it's under his top value and it's non-negotiable. So we're going to say no straight away. He's not interested in that. We will then have the chat and we'll agree a fee. Potentially, we can ignore that. Got that there. That's absolutely fine. So as Kvez says, yeah, start on a data analytics course. Use nothing of it on useful stuff, but get the best spreadsheets for FM. Exactly the way forward. So Sinister, what do you do for work? Data analyst working as a chef. Jay Kvez. I mean, Jay Kvez does everything. I mean, he is a star. So Mr. Moman picked up Power BI for work. Did manage to use it there though. I mean, SQL, Power BI, all those always been as a result of work. We'll say 75. That's under what he wants. That's reasonable. And then we can reject Real Madrid reasonably comfortably until that kind of offer comes in. We'll see what happens. Wilco, so if I sub, does that allow me to get this skin? So Wilco, as discussed, I was mentioning it a little bit earlier. in the stream. So Patreons do have access to a skin that is very, very similar to this. The differences are there's a little bit less that appears on the player profile, and the players bar at the bottom is different. Patrons do get access to all my resources, but in terms of is this a publicly available skin, outside of that, no, it's not. I wouldn't recommend signing up to Patreon just for the skin. It's part of a full suite of benefits, and the idea is that the skins are kind of there as just essentially extra bits. All my resources, all my spreadsheets, all those kind of things are available just as a little bit of an extra bonus, rather than being the star offering in that regards. Right, Daniele Casale. He's been pretty good. In terms of, he can't head, he makes bad decisions, he can't pass, but he's 19 years old. Nothing coming through in terms of performance that stands out. We won't necessarily react to that straight away. We'll just kind of keep an eye on that. Raphael Gaffner. Is this a player that we shortlisted? No, that's someone that we're not worried about. Lorenzo Bordoni is a player we shortlisted. He's a big cost. 6 foot. Wins just 25% of his headers though, which is a little bit of a concern. 9 goals in 1,500 minutes is good. He's quick off the mark. He lacks bravery. Not necessarily the greatest on the ball either. Yeah, it might be worth keeping. We'll keep him on the shortlist. We'll keep an eye on him, but we're not necessarily going to move on him right now. Mattia Mosconi now. Now, Mattia Mosconi wins a better header win rate. Probably in part because he's been playing out on the wing. Scoring at a pretty similar rate in both positions. We don't use wingers, obviously. But if we look between the areas, for a winger, he's a great goal scorer, but not that creative. For a striker, he's a great striker. Even despite playing half his games on the wing, he still comes out that way. Again, a bit low on the bravery side of things, but decision making is better. Pace is considered his best attribute. Consistent. He's doing all right down in Serie B, and he's very, very cheap. 6.4 million. Again, definitely worth keeping an eye on. And then we've got Melkerson. Melkerson, 30% header win rate's a little bit lower there. Again, as he's been playing as a striker. 16 goals in 35 games. Not too bad. He's been doing it in the Conference League, so he's been doing it against different opposition as well. Another that lacks bravery. Not a great dribbler either. Not as keen on Melkerson there. So we'll let him we'll pass him by. We'll pass him by. That was Chelsea's Cole Palmer at PSV, Mr. Moment Man. Well, PSV's Cole Palmer at PSV, I suppose we should say. Like, Carmona's close to being back now. Oh yeah, Hasuki wanted a new contract. We said no. So he's unhappy. But we can live with that. I'm going to give Balieri the start over Profundi. I think that I'm going to give Bonato the start over Xerxes as well. So we're up against another 5-3-2 against Lazio. Before we play that game, let's play another game. Let's play another game because we do have a lovely little redeem on a mini game from RJ. So why don't we head on over and play a little bit of Only Connect. Mosconi does look 12 years old. You're right. You're right indeed. DM Bassist is in. Welcome in, my dude. How are you, sir? There's a Crodmo as well. I thought we weren't going to have a Crodmo tonight. Welcome in. Right, good timing, gents. So we're going to play a little round of Only Connect. Ignore the pictures that are on your screen right now. That is just there as a placeholder. Let's explain how this works though. We're going to see 4 pictures of players, one after the other. They all share some kind of common connection. Your job is to work out what that connection is. The earlier you guess, the more points you get. The more points you get, the higher up on the leaderboard you are, and the leaderboard has reset. There is currently no visible leaderboard, so if you score well in these early games, you're going to be right near the top. So let's head on in to that very, very first clue. So, do they all play football? That is true. They do all play football. You have to get the connection that I'm guessing for. That's the point I should have gone. Sorry. I should probably have been a little bit clearer there. So players that did better after moving clubs is a fine suggestion. So Quadmo, no band practice tonight. Singer and guitarist are at a gig I forgot I might have been interested in. Oh, that's a little bit of a bugger. So Quadmo and Winky, welcome in Winky, have correctly identified it is Frank Rijkaard. He does have great hair. Zerachal suggests that they could be Ajax players. Quadmo suggests that they could have all scored the winning goal in a Champions League semi-final. It could be Koku Smelchka's gone for Barcelona managers before Pep. Zerachal has gone for players become managers. Hung Min has gone for Ajax players who met Van Gaal sometime in their careers.
It's not the statistics! It's not the statistics! You tell me! How do you measure somebody that could balance a balloon in a wind tunnel on a needle?
Oh, Ladislav Almasi fan, what a gentleman you are. That's 6 months. 6 months in subscriptions. That is absolutely incredible. All are worse players than inferior. You mistyped your message. Yes, well, you've got a chance to write your message again. It's all good. It's all good. So could it be that they've won the Euros in 1988 with Holland? Could it be that they were sent off in a World Cup final, managed Galatasaray, Ballon d'Or winners, spat at Rudi Voller, Almasi, not inferior. They're all worse players than Almasi. Well, let's move on to the next one and see if you still agree with that. Because we don't have a correct answer right this moment. But we might do now. Let's see what we've got there. Ladislav Almasi went for gave debuts to future Barca managers. All played with Ruud Gullit. This is correct. This is Patrick Kluivert or Papa Kluivert. So could it just be Dutch players? It's not that they're all Dutch players, I'm afraid. Were they nicknamed Maestro or similar? I like it. It's not what we were looking for. Is it former Barca players turned upper management? Is it players who won the 1995 Champions League, managed by Van Gaal, all played under Van Gaal? Professional sons? These are all fantastic guesses, but we've not got it so far. Alex says, is it total football is the answer? It is not the answer, I'm afraid. Managed by Bobby Robson. All of their sons play professional footballers. Again, we've got another one on for the professional sons. Again, we're not quite there. Dutch players at AC Milan. Ajax Champions League winners. All fine guesses. Now, it's a little unfair putting two Dutch players at the top, because that might steer people in a certain direction. So let's move on to the next one and see if that helps in any way whatsoever. Have they all met Johan Cruyff sometime in their careers? That's not what we're looking for either, I'm afraid. Have they all played for clubs that I've managed on FM24? Possibly, but I don't think so, unfortunately. That's not what we're looking for anyway. Are they Ballon d'Or nominees? Gullit teammates? Played in La Liga? Trudmo has said that they all scored the winner in a Champions League final. Rijkaard in 90, Kluivert in 95, Mijatovic in 1998, and Kai Havertz in 2021. It is indeed. Crudmo, you almost got a 5-pointer there. You came so close right at the beginning. You zoomed in with scored winning goals in a Champions League semi-final, and you didn't push it further. Could have been 5. Finishes with 2 points. Incredible stuff. Look at the applause coming in from RJ. The applause coming in from Zerachal and Hung Min and Koku Smelt. Incredible. A GG from Winky. Absolutely beautiful stuff. You can reset the leaderboard, but you can't stop the Crudmo. Smart and handsome. Exactly. Applause from Ake. Applause from Jabbits as well. Fabulous stuff. Right, let's swing on back here and go into our game against Lazio and see if after just our second game in the new system, whether we're going to abandon it that quickly or not. So we're going to go with that which worked. We're going to
sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
Exactly. Don't forget to buy your Quadmo t-shirts and support the channel, friends. Indeed. I don't even have a command up for merch right now. Like I should do. I should sort that out. I do that and that doesn't do anything. But I will do at some point, because there is now Muster merch available. If you pop to the Discord, what I can do is I can do that. So if you want to consider, there are some stream related merch in there. Pop on over to Discord. There's a link from there that you can go to. So grow. Why did you change formation? Grow because we kept on throwing away games in the last stream. Lots and lots of disappointing results. So we're sticking to the diamond. It's just the diamond is coming from a 3-4-3 instead. Right, here's the corner. It's going to be Theo to take. He's going to swing it in to that far post. Kovacic gets it clear. Hasuki now sends that ball into the far post. And Santoriello with an easy claim. Let's pop this back on TV, shall we? Let's see what... Let's take reversed off as well. Let's see what this highlight has in store. So they decided this was a highlight. It's going to make its way to Naipan. Lee Kang-in turns his man, drives down the left-hand side, sends a low cross in, and Theo turns it into his own goal. Beautiful stuff. Oh my word. So Hasuki did get turned by Kang-in, but Kang-in didn't actually get past him. My word. My word. Do I have data on which merch has sales? I guess I can probably find that out. I don't know. I've not really looked into that. I mean, I don't expect many sales early off the bat. Naipan's in behind Caprile. Beautiful chance from him there. We are getting absolutely overrun in these early moments. So let's pop down there. So we were brilliant in the last game against Napoli. And we've started this game absolutely atrociously. But can Leao do something now? He finds Elena Kane. Elena Kane turns, shoots with his stronger left foot. Santoriello turns it round the post. Bonato's going to take that corner. He's picked up an early yellow card. He sends it into the far post. Kovacic gets it clear. Balieri now. Balieri beats his man, sends a cross in. Bonato. One, this should be a red card for Ravella, surely. What was Bonato doing? What was Bonato doing? Crazy stuff. Right, Val now. Loses out. Here's Elena Kane. Back to Theo now. Theo back to Elena Kane. Plays it to Bonato. There we go. Now we can run at the defence. Bonato takes aim from distance. Paolo Bonato, he needs a song.
Take that away from me.
Right, okay, that's a little bit better. I mean, we've had a couple of chances since dropping down to positive. That seems to have helped a little bit. Here's Theo to Nico to Leao. Out wide, Balieri. Balieri gets past his man and drives forwards, and that's got to be a penalty. There's no question whether that was in the box. All of the Balieri was beyond the line, every single part of him. Right, now how much does Theo want to leave? He has scored his last penalty. He missed in the stream before that though, and this time he makes it to Boom, that's 2 penalties so far this stream. We are definitely getting some good fortune currently. But here's Theo, crosses it in. Leao can't get there. Bove plays it back out to Balieri. Won the penalty. Sends it into the far post to Lenakainer. Heads it over. Boo. Boo. Admin note from Modmo. You might want a pin post or specific channel for the merch link. I don't think the link is easily visible. That is absolutely fair, Grodmo. Thank you very much. Thibaut's in. Welcome in. Lovely to see you, my dude. You're going to go watch the Moneyball. You've been waiting for it so long and so impatient. You're brilliant as always. I hope you enjoy it. I'm really, really, really happy with this video. And Hossam, should we expect part 3 of Everton Rebuild to be uploaded anytime this decade or no? Well, Hossam, as you're going to be so passive-aggressive with your comment, it would probably help if you checked whether one had already been uploaded or not, because it's already out. It's already out, and there's the link in the chat for you there. Here we go, Elena Kana.
Passing in the space and he would score Elena Kana. Crossing to the box and he would score Elena Kana. Do it by himself and he would score Elena Kana. Elena Kana. Passing in the space and he would score Elena Kana. Crossing to the box and he would score Elena Kana. Do it by himself and he would score Elena Kana. Elena Kana.
Boom. There we go. There we go. So we are okay. We are very fortunate. 3 goals from 4 shots on target. There was that one nice save from Sporty Yellow, save from the I can't even remember who shot now. It's Banato. I say we're fortunate. We've also missed some crazy chances like that. Banato blazing over from 6 yards out. So we started the game badly. Since we dropped down to positive, we went from 34% possession up to a 50% share on the ball share there. So we're definitely gaining a lot more control in those moments. And there. Okay, so I think we're okay there. We can definitely do better. That means we're going to tell all the people that are looking composed and calm that they weren't bad, but they can be better. None of them are going to respond to that, so that's fine. So when am I recording my version of Sarah Pesce Ti Amo? It's probably not happening. It's probably not happening, RJ. I'll be honest. I prefer novelty songs, you see. That's the problem. That's the problem. Didn't that one game have 26? Well, yes, that's very true. That is very true. I'm sorry, I just woke up and your videos are addicted. It's all right, Hossam. I was just giving you as much needle as you gave back. I don't mean to overstep the mark. I thought I was meeting it with the same energy was the aim. So Lanislav, you've learned a lot from the video. That's great to hear. That's great to hear. I think it's really, really interesting. Like, as I was saying to Kvez on Friday, as Lee Kang-in finds out to Salvato, Guendouzi now. Guendouzi takes a shot from the angle. Caprile gets down low to his left, pushes it around the post. As I was saying to Kvez on Friday, I was surprised at how big the Oakland Athletics budget actually was compared to, like, they had one of the 4th lowest budget in the league, but they were only a third of the New York Yankees. And actually, when you start to understand the environment that it happens in, you can understand quite a little bit more. I think hopefully it's going to be really, really useful. Was that Guendouzi again? Sorry. Flies past the post from distance. But Hernandez picks up his yellow card. That's going to be time to bring him off. Benato's been okay, but he's on a yellow card as well. Are we going to drop that tempo? We are going to drop that tempo. Let's see if we can. We've seen a couple of highlights now for Lazio, so let's see if we can just slow down their attacking by just being a little bit calmer on the ball. Maybe just get a bit more control. Of course, if they equalise before the change comes in, we then suddenly end up in a panicking position. Here's Cunningham with the cross blocked. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. Kokusma says, you say it's time for cruise control, but I'd be careful with that after the Costa Concordia. Fair point. Fair point. Crudmo wants to see if he used any of the bits that you gave him for the video. I wonder, Crudmo. I wonder. Right, Kovacic. So we made that change 3 minutes ago. we do step in. Now, what we're doing with the ball, now that we are playing a little bit slower, we're losing it in attack. That's fine. Lee Kang in. Now, tempo shouldn't really affect how we defend, but it's more about the general momentum. As Motta, lovely peel off from the central part of the goal, peels off, strikes it with his left foot. That is 2-1. That's where we say, focus. So here he is, being watched by Beraldo. Beraldo's a little bit slow. Understandable though. You don't know what the striker's going to do. You can micro criticize players, but you know it's ultimately reactive. Well, let's see what's happening with the momentum. It is still very much in their favour. Right, Balieri is knackered. Dior is knackered. And Elena Kena is knackered. So we're going to make all 3 changes. Those 3 changes means that Leao's going to play across on the left-hand side. No, Leao's going to play as the false 9. Xerxes the complete forward. Let's push that back up, but drop the mentality now down to balanced. Let's see if we can hold on. Immediately after that change, Beraldo picks up a yellow card. So that's better from a momentum standpoint, but here comes a free kick from Lee Kang in. It's Esuki. It's now going to be a corner. Oh, Naipen's come off. Beraldo can't head it clear. It goes into the middle of the box. Caprile comes up and out and claims. 4 minutes of injury time. Another free kick. Lee Kang in from distance into the side netting. I thought that had gone in, and I thought I was about to lose my proverbial shit. Here, Caprile sends it long. Kovacic wins the header, and Motta comes forward, finds Lucci. Lucci with a touch, gets past his man. Caprile, easy save at his near post there. Beraldo. Oh, Beraldo. Beraldo. Been turned a couple of times there. I said I can't blame him for being slow to react, but that does feel like a couple of moments towards the end of this game where he has been a little bit questionable in terms of his defensive output there. Yeah, take away the penalty and they had the higher XG, but also they had more shots, so we did create better quality chances. Benato missed a really good chance. It's a win. A win is a win. I think we did a win's a win. Exactly that. And that is good enough to move us up into 3rd. Elena Kena ends his goal drought. Marvellous. I'm not going to do that. You can develop concerns all you want. I'll have that conversation with you, which is to say no. And we're going to be upsetting the players anyway by saying no all the time. We might as well formalise it. So we're looking... The only defenders we've got on this list is Glader Astudio. He's a defensive midfielder. The only defenders we've got on this list are a defensive midfielder. Beautiful stuff. Daniel Casale, right-footed, 19 years old. I'm not that convinced that he's going to be the option. Do we have that Beraldo? I don't mind. They don't have to be very strong. They don't have to be left-footed. But are there players that perhaps could be under consideration? So we're talking about name in the game. Maybe Mark Vaughan is the answer. He's another name in the game, obviously. Currently in his 3rd season with Bristol City. He's another player that's not very good on the ball, but rather dominant in the air. It might only cost 10.5 million, but he's doing it in the Championship, and we've surely got to be setting our sights a little bit higher than that. League 2, Portugal, a 2-footed, 5'11" centre back / fullback. I can't be doing 5'11". I mean, I know Paolo Maldini, right? Paolo Maldini was on the shorter side, but did play centre back at a very high level. But yeah, I'm not feeling particularly enthused by that prospect. I'd like someone older. I'd like someone experienced. That someone experienced could be Doumbia. Doumbia's 6 foot, described as an inverted fullback. He's been playing as a centre-back, where he's won just 44% of his headers and 69% of his tackles. So that's a no. Hugo Baracchina is playing in Serie B. Baracchina is a player I do like 86%, 82% is good. He's got good jumping. Can't pass, can't control the ball. Is probably down at too low a level to really contemplate. I need to get over this whole like valuation thing. I'm like immediately dismissing players when I see that they're like £30 million. 6'2" is normally the lowest you go on centre back, says Wicked Shot. See, I'm quite happy at 6 foot, absolutely fine with that. But below that, I start to get queasy. I start to get very, very queasy. Like Abubakar Silla, great player. 121 million euros worth. Probably not what we're looking at. Belade, 82 million. 92% tackle win rate, 59% header. 59% header win rate. He's 6'5". It's embarrassing, man. Embarrassing. So what about Jamie Vasquez? 6'2", 81%. His tackling isn't good. He's been playing as centre-back, where he doesn't win possession. He loses it a lot. So Hiroki Ito is 6'2". He's now 32 years old. He's been playing as a left back rather than a centre back, so we can't really judge him in that regards. I don't think we're going to be changing someone's role at the age of 32. David Braddock, 23 to 28 million. Either foot, Fickle has been playing, split his time between centre back and defensive midfielder. Nothing necessarily wrong with him there. Problem is as a centre back, because he's been playing as a defensive midfielder, some of these other stats are going to look higher. And because as a defensive midfielder, some of these stats are going to end up looking higher because of the time he's played as a centre back. 68% tackle win rate isn't great though, so that we can dismiss. Could we sign Buongiorno from Rivals? He's out for 2 weeks. 2 to 4 weeks. What's his natural fitness like? It is quite high. %64% header win rate though. I don't like that. I don't like that at all, I'm afraid. So let's have our massive fan ask, has anyone ever had success with a very passive midfield? I mean, I don't think I've had success with anyone being passive, to be honest. Lissandro Martinez having a mare after hearing that. Yeah, exactly. Now, I suppose in a back three, maybe there should be some consideration, but like one undersized centre-back in a back three, and we are now playing a back three, perhaps isn't the worst thing in the world. But Lissandro Martinez in a back four, yeah. I mean, we've seen how that's happened in real life, so I think it's justified, right? Right, Bozic is playing in Bundesliga, and Mario Fernandes is in the Premier League. He is 78, another player not winning his headers. Why am I doing it this way? Let's just go straight in and go headers one ratio. At the very least, we need a 70%. So Kevin Mina could perhaps be that man. He's won 89% of his headers, 83% of his tackles. That's encouraging. He loses the ball around what you'd expect for the amount he's on it. He wins the ball probably more than what I'd expect for the amount that he's on it. He looks good. €74 million is crazy. But he possibly could be the answer. Possibly. I don't want to get too carried away. David Menta. David Menta is 100%, 414 minutes. We can look at his attributes, but his stats really don't matter to us much right now. Lacks bravery for centre-back. That is a no. And then Willemse has been playing a decent amount. 83% headers won. 63% tackle win rate isn't really good enough. Where has he been playing? Those look like he might have played somewhere else. No, centre-back. Certainly interesting. But his tackle win rate probably excludes him in that regard. Transfer targets. Let's centre backs. We're going to look at as most of these roles as we possibly can to get as big a list as possible. The only one we're going to ignore is no nonsense. Any of these left-footed. So Romero isn't left-footed. He wins only 61% of his headers as well. Kevin Mena there that we've already looking at. We should probably add him to the shortlist. Espada, right-footed, 5'10". David Ramos, right-footed, 5'11". Carlos Hoyos, left-footed, 21, playing for Levante, 1,700 minutes, 76% header win rate, 70% tackle win rate is very much on the low side, but it isn't the worst we've seen so far. Let's give him a little bit of a scout. Ian Henderson, right-footed. Mohamed Gold, right-footed. And Sam Gwynn, both footed. That was the guy that we saw earlier, wasn't it? Oh, no, it wasn't. He had a different price valuation, but 61% header win rate. That's not so encouraging. So yeah, we'll see what the deal is there. So Wicked is running an anchor, a box-to-box midfielder, and a central midfielder attacking my 4-3-3. Been doing really well. The anchor never really gets insane ratings, but it's really solid for stopping counters. Yeah, I mean, so like I tend to avoid making judgments based on player ratings as much as I generally can, because player ratings are very biased towards what the game wants to give ratings for. If an anchorman is doing the job for you, he's stopping counters, he's playing on the ball comfortably, he's not giving it away stupidly, he's not making silly mistakes, then his rating doesn't really matter. If you've got someone that it works with, beautiful. So Man City have made a bid for Shelderup. We're probably going to have to let that go. I would like Shelderup, but I don't think that's our priority at this particular moment. Dortmund have bid a decent amount for a player that I want to keep around, so I'm not going to accept that. At 74 million, that's a spicy meatball. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. What did we spend on Caprile? We spent 47.5, and that felt pretty damn obscene at its own right. And you kind of got to ask whether it was worth it as well. He has conceded a lot of goals. What is his XGP, in fact? Surely that's got to be negative. It is minus 0.11. So we've conceded 1 XG per game and conceded 1.11 goals per game, which, you know, hasn't been great. Hasn't been great whatsoever. Dan Basie says it's my inner Scotsman, I'm sure, but I hate spending money on players. Exactly. The idea, I don't mind too much. Quite happy to spend, say, 30 million. 30 million, perfectly reasonable. Or in euros, about 35. But once you get beyond that, I just feel so uneasy with it. We are not going to accept a bid for Theor there. They think that, okay, half the team agree with me. That's something. I've got the backing of the vast majority. I'm not going to be able to win you around. So far we've got a couple of players that are unhappy. Apparently no one agrees with any of these other players, apart from 2 agreeing with Hasuki and 5 agreeing with Balieri just now. We've got more agreeing with me, so that's good. 10 people agree that Hasuki doesn't need a new contract. 5 agree with me over Balieri, which is fine. That's something. Small victories for me as far as I'm concerned. So Wicked agrees about the ratings, currently on a 26-game winning streak in Africa, trying a new approach on the Pentagon Challenge, no counter, no higher tempo. Fabulous stuff. Fabulous. Crommo also doesn't like spending money. But Zerachol, on the other hand, is buying is fun. It's only numbers until the debt collector rings the doorbell. And it's a virtual debt collector as well. I mean, they can't... What can they do? They can't do anything. Okay, our next game is the Super Coppa against Inter. Let's see. Oh, we have to... Once we click continue now, we can see what the buy now price is. 14 million to buy now. You can bugger off. Absolutely not. So Kajus will come in next season. That's fine. We do have Demi Roja, or Roya, whatever his name is, on loan at the moment, so I'm quite happy with that. It's close. 36, I mean, that's a total of around 80 million, but the non-negotiable stuff, like, does Eduardo Bove play 20 league games? Is going to be the key question here. So they currently play a 4-3-3. That would mean he'd have to get in ahead of Eli Eroy, who's rated at 60 million to 90 million. We don't have scouting on him, so these attributes won't be accurate. But he's playing well. Oscar Glauc is in a more attacking role than I expect Bove to be involved in. And then we've got Javan Cohen probably playing in that. That's the role that I'd most expect Bove to be used in. That kind of supporting central midfielder, whether that's a box-to-box, a Carolero, just a plain central midfielder, ball winner, that kind of thing. Cohen seems to be doing all right. Don't know what his valuation is. Know absolutely nothing about him there. Because that makes a huge difference on the valuation. There's a massive difference there between the 60 million and the 75 million. He's not interested in joining them either. I really like Bove as well. That's my main issue. So Dan Basis, do you think 45 million is probably the most you've ever spent on a player in FM? RJ likes to sell players over 35 million. That's fair. That's fair. Quez finds the ratings very weird. Apparently it's the meta to scout players based on good ratings, but for some roles it seems it can be skewed favourably by lesser players. Absolutely. I mean, there is any rating system, even like things like the SofaScore rating system is very, very highly tuned into certain metrics and certain ratings that can skew in favour of certain types of players. I find that FM really struggles with safe players that just do what you need them to do. Like so fullbacks that aren't attacking, defensive midfielders that are there to cover, anchors, halfbacks, inverted wingbacks on defend or support, fullbacks on support, plain central defenders, all those kind of things where what you're really prioritising is them being around to do their defensive work, but not make any mistakes, especially in possession-based teams where they don't have to do much defensive work, get generally quite bad ratings. So Mr. Moman says, do a Chelsea and sell your swimming pool to yourself for 100 million. If only. I mean, money isn't really the issue. If we wanted to leverage, we've got 1 million on our wage budget, just so you know. So I could potentially get that that transfer budget down. And once that transfer budget is down, we could probably push it back up. I'm not worried in that respect. So we're all right financially. What are our finances actually? We are 100 million in the red. We do have 93 million debt, but it's AC Milan. That's positively amazing for Italian football, right? Simple trick. Just divide a modern transfer fee by 10 and you get the 90s transfer fee and it's more palatable. 20 million for Neymar, not bad. 10 million for Jack Grealish. Sure, exactly. Back then, Anderlecht could buy good players. I mean, you've got some good players. You've got like at least one. I still would not pay 10 million for Casemiro. Less Casemiro. Like, Casemiro is a weird one because I think he was a good signing when you signed him initially. It's the 5-year contract that's the issue. And whether that makes it worthwhile getting him for the first year and a bit, maybe. But then you've got the 3.5 years after that, which is the problem. And whether he should still be in the first team is definitely quite questionable. Salaz Avamasi fan, you phrased your question wrong. I mean like a deep midfield, like a defensive midfielder, a ball-winning midfielder, and a deep-lying playmaker. Oh, there's nothing wrong with that, as long as you have the bodies supporting the attack. So if you've got 2 attacking fullbacks in a 4-3-3, and you've got your wingers cutting inside, you've got striker, you've got your 5 players potentially attacking, occupying those attacking channels, and then you can have your midfielder supporting underneath. Could absolutely work, yes. No issue with that at all. Like 29 years, got to cash out. I always try and max outgoings. You do like maxing outgoings is absolutely reasonable, but also like Bove's still going to be at a pretty damn reasonable value in another couple of years. So I'm quite happy to hold on, see if we get any more bids coming in. Preferably if we just get a negotiable offer, then we can start to have that discussion. But if they keep on offering us non-negotiable, then they can bugger right off. If you're a football fan and dislike, so who's saying you almost missed the likes of Fred and Fellaini. I think I like Fellaini. Let's be fair. So Kaku Smush likes Fellaini too. Kaku Smush is a man of taste. Right, we have a cup final coming up. Granted, it's just the Supercoppa Italia, but you know that counts, right? Beraldo is suspended, so we're going to go with Milenkovic back. I'm bringing Milenkovic in for Hazuki. I'm bringing in De Feo on the left. Beraldo obviously comes out.
I mean, let there be 1,000 blossoms bloom as far as I'm concerned. You know, but I ain't spending any time on it because in the meantime, every 3 months, a person is torn to pieces by a crocodile in North Queensland.
It's a classic. And right, so yeah, we've got a cup final coming up, and we've got a break coming up. So let's bring that break forwards by about 1 minute, so that we can get into the cup final a little bit quicker. I will see you guys in about 3 to 4 minutes. I don't trust Twitch's ad thing. I went to the toilet, I came back, and it said there was still like 2 minutes 50 left, which seems completely wrong to me. But there we go. Right, let's head on into the cup final, eh? Now, Mr. Momon said they should have done Casemiro how Arsenal dealt with Yorgi, or Chelsea dealt with Yorgi. But would he accept it? That is a fair question. I don't think he would. And there was... So Rachel mentioned that it seemed weird to keep Casemiro and get rid of McTominay. But it kind of... So that's the problem with Casemiro's transfer fee and wages, isn't it? Is because... with the way that that's then amortized over the duration of his contract, if they sell him for less than the remaining amortized amount, it's actually worse for PSR for them. So because they lose the asset value, which means that even if it's perfectly reasonable right now to let Casemiro leave on a free, what's being underwritten would be horrendous for them going forwards, whereas McTominay is pure profit because there's no transfer fee that's being amortized over the course of his contract, which is ridiculous, and it's where everything is very, very flawed. Right, we'll pump our fists. We'll see what that says there. We will speak to the composed and the aggressive guys. We will say, I trust you to make the difference. And it's Theo and Hernandez. So we'll immediately tell those two to calm down once the game starts. Right, another back. No, we're up against the back four this time, 4-2-3-1. Interesting to see how we cope with the attacking midfielder. So we'll kind of... So I think we've seen some good stuff so far, but we are still conceding a crazy amount. So Theo and Hernandez, we're going to tell to calm down right from the off. Just see if that helps fight against some of that aggression that's in there. So some good chat about Belgian players at Everton. I do agree with those that have said that Lukaku was good in Italy. I think he's definitely had some very, very, very good spells outside of Everton. Even in England, fantastic at West Brom, for example. Right, early moments here. De Feo given a start in a cup final against our inter-city rivals, our inter-stadium rivals. Here we go. Profundi outright gets the start, creates the space, sends the cross in. Elena Kano attacks it, and his header is just wide. Boo! Come on, man. Come on. Against good teams, he is utter rubbish. That's I think there is something to be said about good players playing up against good teams. As Kiergaard comes forward, Lautaro is the target, but Milenkovic reads it nicely. Benato's touch is heavy though, and Inter can come once again with Camavinga driving down the left, feeds Marcus Leonardo. Back to Camavinga to Kiergaard. Will someone shoot? Kiergaard will, and it's easily gathered by Capullo. It's that when you've got a player like Lukaku, someone who's going to be a target, someone you're going to build around, he then becomes a target for very good players to be man-marking him, or for him to be man-marked behind but also screened. And I think there's a certain element of when you've got a player like Lukaku to make sure that you use him as a decoy against those better teams that are otherwise going to try and really work hard to stop his effectiveness. There we go, RJ. There's a goal for you. There is a goal for you. It is Federico Di Marco. Bugger. Right, Kadioglu into Kiergaard. Kiergaard. Cross, here he is. Di Marco inverted there. Gets a touch. I mean, where it's... Let me click... Milenkovic, cool. Milenkovic was in the right position. He did what he should be doing in that situation. I don't mind his attribute there. It was Prati. Okay, now this is a problem. So one thing I did change just before we went into the games, I dropped us down to a positive mentality because we started the last game with an attacking mentality. We had none of the ball in the first 15 minutes, changed down to a positive mentality, and then we wrestled control. I started on a positive mentality, and we once again have had bugger all of the ball. So I'm dropping all the way down to balanced. And I think I am kind of giving up on this game already. I am accepting that we have probably lost this match. But let's hope otherwise. We can certainly get back to it. If we get a goal in response relatively quickly, that'd be nicer. But Elena Kane offside, obviously missed that chance early on. Let's see. Theo with the corner. Sends it in. Bastoni gets it clear. Here's Milenkovic to Theo. Back to Milenkovic. There's got to be a highlight attached to this, right? Is the highlight us giving the ball away in a dangerous area? Or is it us coming forwards now? Come on, Theo. Back to Bove. Elena Kane. That was shit. That was very, very shit. Just letting Camavinga go. Now I get it that Profundi was keeping an eye on his man, but we stayed for, like, he didn't come off him at any point. The Nico, as a playmaker, you know, sometimes isn't going to be the greatest defensively, but as a roaming playmaker, they're meant to be coming back and tracking, and he didn't really seem to follow. Kept a lot of space between himself and Camavinga. So can we do something here? 33 minutes on the clock. 2-0 down at half time would be pretty bad, let's be honest. And Zerachal will head into the mini game after this as Camavinga. Oh boy, we got away with one there. My word. Right, Wicked says, so normally I set all players to their role as individual training. Lately I've noticed leaving him on playing position develops faster. At least it feels like it. Fabulous to know. DM Bassist has got some opinions on Belgians. Raskin is the GOAT regardless. Hard to disagree. Profundi with his shot, here's blocked. Lautaro now comes away. We've got 3-on-1. 3-on-1. Can Lautaro make the pass? Bove wins the challenge and then loses out the ball. Milenkovic gets beaten. Cunha to Prati, to Camavinga, to Prati. We can't make tackles stick. That seems to be our issue there. We've got away with one there. We have very, very much got away with one. Profundi now. Profundi, pull one back. No, his shot is blocked. We've got away with a lot here. That Camavinga chance after giving the ball away. That counter-attack. Bernardo sends it in. Hermanson claims. Damn, this is bad. Damn, this is very bad. Okay, so again, oh, this is great. Right, okay. So starting on attacking and going down to positive took us from 34% possession after 15 minutes to 50%. Starting the next game on positive and then going down to balanced after 15 minutes took us from 38 to 50% possession. It feels very much like, so what is the difference between those games? Why is changing to what worked in the previous game not giving us the same desired results, and then we're having to go one step further? That's what I want to try and look into there. I mean, we've got to say, come on guys, you're being a little bit rubbish. So I'm going to take Be More Expressive off and push back up to positive. See whether the expressiveness is what's there rather than the mentality. We need to focus our challenges on. Camavinga is running the show. Absolutely running the show. So yeah, I wasn't happy with Nico's defending in that first half. So on comes Kari. Donato's had a couple of free kicks, but that's really it. Elenikaina's had a couple of headers. Let's try Leao in that role there. Donato isn't really a striker. He can play there. It's not great. Let's see how we go into the second half. So Thibaut, the video is over. Man, you're insane. It's so good. Can't wait for the next episode of the Moneyball. I'm looking forward to it as well, Thibaut. I'm glad to hear you enjoyed it. Told you can't win as long as DeMarco is there. You're right, RJ. So UCL final, threat in the game, just doesn't fit the modern F9 striker, which pulls on wingers, like we see across the Premier, pulls in. Right, okay. I Havertz, Jesus, Nunes, Profundi denied by Hermansen. Even Kane to an extent at Spurs with how he'd end up as a midfielder at times. Mr. Momo man, Kane in big games ends up as not even sometimes as a midfielder. He plays as a deep lying playmaker, which is sometimes very, very frustrating. But here's Bove. Loses out unnecessarily to Cunha, but gets the loose ball. Kari into Elenikaina. His pass intercepted. There's the man again. It's Federico DiMarco. Lautaro Martinez in behind. It's a good recovery block in the end from... I have no idea who made that block, to be honest. Right, DiMarco sends it in. Prati with a header at the near post, and that's over. So the greatest Belgian player of all time, without doubt, is Emile Mpenza. I mean, surely it's got to be Mbo Mpenza, the lesser Mpenza. Wesley Sonk is a fine answer. Lorenzo Stalins. Right, we lose out. Okay. Prati, Cunha, 3-0. Game over. So what I was going to say before that, and I wanted to hold on until the highlight ended because I thought they were going to score, is that the thing that we seem to have seen quite commonly in the last few streams at least, is our players giving the ball away like idiots. Really bad under-hit passes. And that's how we concede a lot of our chances. So I'm going to try dropping the tempo as well. So currently we're playing at positive... Oh, fuck off. Oh, come on, man. Just right on cue. Right on cue. Are we going to get something out of this? Cunha with the challenge. And they're going to send him off. But he's already scored, so there we go. Danny Verlinden, Michael Goosens, Vital Borkelmans. So perhaps the more passive approach in one game allowed the team to pass around the back for longer, whereas being passive in the other game made them play more in your half, resulting in position exchange. Not sure if that makes sense. A space problem. It's just a surprise. It's difficult. I want to I will be looking into it, probably off stream because it'll be very, very dull. But I do want to watch on full what happened in those early exchanges and why the changes affected it as it did. Right, Kari comes on, gets himself a yellow card. We need to take Tackle Harder off. Profundi, so Balieri, Ruggeri, Xerxes and Carmona. Let's go up to attacking. I mean, I'm not even trying to win this game. That's a bad sign. So Witzel, hard to beat the combo of red cards and the hair. A great mention. Right, here's Ruggeri. Ruggeri, is he going to send it into someone? He finds Kari, and it's a great save from Hermansen. It took a deflection on the way through. Ruggeri to take the corner, finds Kari. Okay, my players are just idiots. That's all it is my players are idiots. I'm watching that again. Why? Why would you pass in that situation? That is madness. That is madness. Oh my. we'll just have to chalk it up as one of those games, I think. Oh well. Hungdamin is back to a thumping defeat. That's bad news. Welcome back in, Hungdamin. Hey, Neutral Normie, how you doing, my dude? Lovely to see you. Lovely to see you. Yeah, we've been absolutely atrocious. Piss poor would be an understatement. As Raphael finds Kari. Kari takes a shot this time and it's saved. I think it would have ended up being offside anyway because the guy was like kind of in the line. He was behind Hermanson, but you imagine that would have been given against him. Right, last few seconds now. Super. We said at the beginning of the stream that this tournament isn't important, but losing to your rivals like that is difficult to stomach. Difficult to stomach indeed. I would just like my players to pass to their teammates and maybe not make dumb decisions. But there we go. Muster out. We need Imposterman. Indeed, Zerachel. Oh, seriously. Seriously. Fine beard there. We will watch them lift the trophy. That's the punishment we deserve for playing so badly, is that we need to watch our rivals lift the trophy. Yeah, that's unacceptable, lads. Absolutely piss poor. And the first goal, I can't have any complaints about. I can't have any complaints whatsoever. Milenkovic was in the right position. He closed out DeMarco. The shot was good. Like, that was absolutely fine. It's just everything thereafter. So they're going to get their rest, and then we go into the game against Spal. The more this carries on, the more likely it is that we're going to spend 74 million on a defender. Potentially. Maybe on shoulder up. Still waiting on the scouting on Rocker. Rocker looks good. Rocker looks like a player that we could perhaps build around in our midfield. I do like the look of Rocker. So we're waiting on those reports on Hoyos and Mena. Potentially as a replacement for Beraldo. As much as I've knocked Beraldo, look at how much worse we were without him. In fact, how many goals have we conceded? Have we conceded all but one of our goals on this stream? We've conceded, fuck's sake, 8 goals in 3 games, and I think 7 of them whilst Beraldo haven't been on the pitch or available. But here comes a bid now for Nico Gonzalez. We're going to reject that. He's going to be unhappy as well. Cool. Discuss. Weren't offering enough. I want, let's say 90. Cool. Cool. I think the summer is going to be amazing. The summer is going to be absolutely incredible. Once we've got like some players, enough players scouted and a full season's worth of data. Because realistically, I think none of the squad are going to be here. Because every time a team bids for a player, they all want to leave anyway. So that's going to be great. It's just we can't really react to that situation at the moment because the options out there aren't great. So Ricardo Roca is actually 20 million euros more expensive than we thought. Let's have a look there. Very, very progressive. Tackling's okay. On the ball a lot, safe with it. That's kind of usable. Really good passing, vision, technique. Good enough defensively. Let's see, what's he wanting? Under 200k a week. That I can definitely deal with. See if he'd go for lower. He would. Want to be a regular starter is absolutely fine. Now it says that Porto don't want to sell, right? So that means it's probably going to cost at least 60 million in this window. So let's try this as let's say 20 and 40. Let's pop that down. What, 25, 12 and a half. Let's actually make that 6.25. So that is a quarter of the base fee. And then there's essentially a big bonus for reaching 50 there. It's already capped, so we won't worry about that bit there. We will say that if we win the Serie A within 3 seasons, that'd be another 10. We would say percentage of profit at 10%. Actually, let's move that up to 30. As I say, we're expected to be around 60 up front if we were to bid it up front. So let's try 65 and some profit. And they say 80 million. And we say no. Actually, can we... last negotiation, we'll go there. We're just going to pop it in, non-negotiable, make an offer. Let's see if they will kick the toys out the pram like they do for us. Thank you very much for the hydrate, Brazilian Fury. How you doing, my dude? How was... You were playing a game I have no idea about the other night. Animal something. How was that stream? It's not Animal Hospital, but that's what I want to call it. If you guys aren't following Brazilian, you most definitely should be. An absolute gentleman and lovely creator. So Neutral Normie was doing great until you saw the stream and saw another Interwin. Not recovered since last night. That's fair. That's fair, Neutral Normie. Right, let's pop on over to that mini game. Thank you very much for the reminder, Blue Line. And shall we play a little bit of bingo? I think we shall. So let's pop in here. We're going to create a game. I'm going to pop that over there. Cool. So if you guys aren't familiar with bingo, it's a really simple game. There is a link now in chat. Head on over to that link and you will end up in a nice little lobby. Once we start the game, you're going to get a bingo card with 16 squares. On those squares, you've got like clubs or nations or players that people have played alongside, competitions, things like that. Each card is unique to each player, but we all get the same list of players. We get 60 players, one after the other. We've got to identify whether the player that comes up fits one of those squares on the boards. We get 10 seconds. If they do, you click on the square. If they don't, you click skip. Once you lock in a square, you can't go back. You can't undo it. You can't put another player in that square. So be careful. Think about it. Make sure that you're confident and then lock it in. We're going to give it about, I'll say just over a minute or so, so people have chance to get themselves signed up, and then we'll head on into the game. So let me try and catch up a little bit. Maybe the source of my power was the beard. Quite possibly. It does look like. So we're going to see how this system works up against those smaller teams. I mean, out of games over Napoli, Lazio and Inter, we've had 1 win, 1 draw, 1 defeat, which is middling. Okay. That last defeat certainly rankles. But we'll see how it goes. Part of the reason why we changed was because we had some horrible draws against like Lecce and Como and I can't even remember the last team. Udinese. Udinese was the other one. So maybe we'll see how it goes with those before I I revert back. Or I stop all streams until the beard is back at full length. Cool. Right, let's head on into the game. So pay attention to your browser now. You'll get a countdown of the 10 seconds as we head in. Because be aware that obviously the stream, there's always a slight little delay there. So we'll see how we go. And we start off with a little bit of Robert Sanchez. And I almost clicked immediately on Arsenal, getting him confused with David Raya, which would have been a good start. A good start for sure. Oh, now David James. David James definitely fits on this list very nicely. Calamity James, one of Villa's greatest goalkeepers. He was actually genuinely really, really good for us. Manchester League. We can pop him in for Netherlands there without too much controversy. Samuel Eto'o. Samuel Eto'o could be a lot of these. I'm going to go with Inter. Pierre Kalulu. Pierre Kalulu. He's Italian, isn't he? I don't feel confident, so I'm going to let that one run. Patrick Schick. Ladislav, I'm a massive fan. Sorry, Patrick Schick fan. There's one for you. Tommaso Pobega, definitely Italian. I can feel comfortable with that one, so we can play that there. We've got Naby Keita. Naby Keita, a player that I thought was going to be destined for great things, and then he joined Liverpool. Funny how that goes. Funny how that goes. Mike Maignan. I'm going to skip Fernando Couto. I don't think he matches any of those, so we're going to let that one go. Yaya Toure. What a player. What a player. Now, we were talking about the Toures before in the Belgian division, and I can't remember which one played in Belgium and which one didn't, so we're going to let that one run. We're going to skip Hadanovic. We're going to skip Koku as well. Possibly going to skip Koku. Nicholas Bentner for Denmark or Arsenal. I feel more confident identifying Arsenal players like Ben White. So yeah, we can run that one there. That's nice and straightforward. David Platt. David Platt. I don't think he's any of those, so we'll let that one go. Olivier Giroud. Giroud feels like some. I never know on UEFA Cup winners, but he feels like a player who could have won the UEFA Cup potentially. Luis Enrique. We can let that one go as well. I don't think he matches any of those. Andre Onana seems like a pretty safe choice for the Inter and Man United one. Marouane Chamakh. Obviously Ballon d'Or winner. Thomas Partey, another Ballon d'Or winner. Glenn Johnson. Every time he comes up, I have to mention that he stole a toilet seat. Unfortunately, that's not one of the squares there. So we'll let that one. So Mazraoui, we can go for Man United. Ashley Cole. Ashley Cole. Was he still at Chelsea when Chelsea were managed by Ancelotti? I'm going to say he was. Like Gervinho. Gervinho's a player that could have won the UEFA Cup. He spent some time in those kind of teams in Spain. So that doesn't feel beyond plausible. Bastoni is a quality player, but I don't think he matches any of those. Stefan de Vrij, similar. Oh, did de Vrij ever play in Belgium? Feels like he could have spent a little time out there, maybe early on in his career. Timo Werner for Tottenham. Can go with that with reasonable confidence. Robbie Keane. Robbie Keane matches quite a lot of these, to be fair. But we're going to let that run. Roberto Carlos for Brazilian. John Dahl Thomason. Has John Dahl Thomason won a UEFA Cup? Let's say he has. Let's just chance our arm with that one. Inaki Williams, we're going to skip there. Kevin Prince Boateng can go. Shmaila Sarr. El Hadj Diouf. Marcelo Salas. Alexis Sanchez. Did Chile... I'm not feeling confident on Chile winning the... Yeah, Daniele De Rossi. Maybe with the international team, with Italy. So we'll play that one. Romagnoli, we're going to let go. Babel will let go. Federico Chiesa's gone. Trippier's passed. Miranda. Passing on that. Gabriel Heinze is another pass. Quaresma is a pass. Martin Keown won the Ballon d'Or. Esteban Cambiasso. So I've mentioned this last time. I know that it's like 25, 30 years or whatever without winning the Copa America for Argentina. But I think Cambiasso might actually be far enough back that he could have done. Like Brian McClare, Diego Forlan, Juan Bernat, Thiago Motta, Ruud Gullit, Michael Owen, Giovanni Van Bronckhorst, Fede Valverde, Dida, and Martin Caceres for played in the Belgian top division. So Cambiasso, that's a fair miss out. Caceres, I mean, that was just down to the last one. So RJ says, what's the point of winning if the best is not there? Before is Cosmo allowed to play? Well, Crodmo has been very, very kind. Very kind indeed. So currently, it stands that we have FMGNG and Draw in joint first place with 14 correct. Now, we know that Zerachul likes to take his time, likes to make sure he gets things right, so this could change. Then, in joint third, we have Ladislav Almasifan, Blue Lions, Crodmo. Then we have Jeff Badman and DMB. Some very, very good jobs there. 13, 14 correct. Not much in it whatsoever. So Mr. Momo Man missed the explanation and realised what the game was too late. Oh well. GTG. Got to go though. Great stream. Thank you very much for being by, Mr. Momo Man. Thank you very much, my dude. He stole a what? He stole a toilet seat, Neutral Normie. Do you not know the story about Glenn Johnson and the toilet seat? Very weird. It was the definition of piss poor. The Stevens in, welcome in. Good morning, Musterman. What skin specifically are you using that has that multicolored pizza chart? Yes, I'm on your Patreon. So this is, as I think mentioned before, Musterman Modern. It will say something like optimized for 1600 by 900 or something to that equivalent. Lance Savamasi, surely time is the tiebreaker for ties. No, I'm quite happy to let everyone take as long as they need. As long as they need. Sahang Damin, you have the form of a relegation favourite team. Down and down and down. I mean, not too bad. I mean, it's worse than your normal showing, Hang Damin. I mean, you've been pretty solid around the 30 point mark for a while now. But we've been rusty. We haven't done this for a while, so it's understandable. It's understandable. Welcome in, Steves. How you doing, my man? How are you? Lovely to see you. Lovely to see you. I'm waiting on Zerachul. We will pop on over to the game and see it when it pops up. What you said about mixing up Sanchez and Raya, you did exactly that. Oh man. I mean, I was so confident as well. I saw Robert Sanchez. I was like, oh no. There we go. It's mid-table form for Hungdamin. Amorim is jealous. I'm looking forward to next season. I think it's going to be interesting to see how Man United get on, whether Amorim is kept on past the summer, whether when they start to build towards his ideas, whether it works, or whether he's going to be an early season casualty. So Jamie, welcome in, my dude. How are you? Do you think it's possible to recreate a Luis Enrique type tactic? I can imagine it is definitely possible to recreate a Luis Enrique tactic. I imagine as well, I'm pretty certain there are some fantastic ones out there. I'm pretty certain RDF has done one. Definitely worth checking out. Because, you know, when he does it, he will go through the structures and the reasons why certain decisions are made and how that ties in to the actual tactical approach. So definitely worth checking that out. Zerachul says, worst time ever, my God. Well, congratulations to GNG and Draw. And Zerachul comes in. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He comes in 7th. So Zerachul does not make the leaderboard off the back of that one. Oh dear. Right, Beraldo is back. Beraldo comes straight into the lineup. Hesuki didn't suck, whilst Milenkovic did. So that's those changes there. Nico has not played well in this roaming playmaker. Going to pop him onto just a plain defensive midfielder on support. Going to take be more expressive off, but we're going back to attacking. Are we going to give Royer the start? So let's try him as a deep line playmaker, actually. I do want someone who's going to help attract the ball. Let's try that. And let's get Xerxes back in. We're going to be playing up against another 3-5-2. Let's see how we get on here. The Enrique, that was a Portuguese autocorrect. It was easy to work out what he was going for. That's thankfully the beauty of language there. Yeah, let's point our fingers. That's a good response. Let's see how we get on. We need a good result. A home game in the league. We're still very much so. We brought it to within. We're within 2 points, is it now, of top spot? So a win here would be huge. Let's see if we can apply that pressure, or whether we choke once again. Early goal kick. Royer was nowhere near his man in that moment. Now it's out to Paunessa, to Lucchese. Buffon doesn't pay attention. To Paunessa. Sario, they're just easing off. Nicely intercepted by Beraldo. No one's really paying attention to their defensive duties at all, though, apart from Beraldo there. Right, Theo back to Beraldo. He goes back to Hasuki. He's going to just stand there for a while until Nico can send it forwards. Leao's in behind. Rafael Leao fires out a black ledge. It wouldn't count it anyway. And we are again struggling for possession in those early stages. Just 47% at home against Spal. Up to 51. Chances aren't great. And I want that movement. I want a player that gets forward without being a volante. We are going back down to shorter passing. And let's make sure that we mark up the players that are getting forward. So that's going to be Koffold. That's going to be the wing backs there. Going to trigger the press from these guys here. So if you use Substack, there's someone called Ponta de Lanza who makes a good recreation. Ponta de Lanza is an absolutely fantastic creator. You can use on Substack. Great suggestion. Also, he appears under... There's Xerxes. Is that onside?
Special word, Xerxes, the being Paul Burkham, Xerxes, a knockout bubble off, Xerxes, gonna score Xerxes, it's about time for his arrival.
He's also on the SI forums as Ozil to the Arsenal. So there are plenty of places that you can find him. He's on X as well, I believe, but that's a hell site, so no one wants to recommend there. Hung Min remembers there as a user on the FM forum who replicated PSG's pressing scheme to a T, like perfect man-to-man pressing in FM24. I wonder if that is indeed Ozil to the Arsenal. Right, here's Buffon. Buffon drives forwards. Buffon still keeps on going, takes it with his weaker foot, and blazes it over. So Hungdamin says, no, it's someone else. Awesome. Right, Theo with the corner. Xerxes was the target. Frugerio, though, gets there first. Beraldo gathers, finds Theo. Theo Theor's creating space. Theor's going on his own, and that will do.
Milan, Rossoneri. Ain't nobody I'd rather be. Milan, Rossoneri. They can't take that away from me.
Not bad. Not a bad finish from Theor there. Are we going to have to, are we back on shorter passing already? There we go. So here's Suki out to Profundi. Profundi can't beat his man. Now Paonessa has a chance to come away with it. Profundi does recover. Now, it did seem like for a brief moment that Profundi was giving up. He was like he'd lost out the ball. He started tracking back and then he kind of just slowed down a little, but he recovered. So that's okay. He decided, after a few moments of licking his wounds, he decided to fight back. So I'll give him some credit where it's due. Now here's Nico to Theor. Theor's shot is awful. That is atrocious. Absolutely god awful. By Anderson from the free kick, fired into the wall behind for a corner. They've gone to a more. They've changed their attack. They're going more attacking. So we're going to respond in kind by now popping on counter. Let's see if we can maybe use those moments that they push forwards to exploit some of the spaces in behind. We do have 3 players in that front line, so we should be able to do so. I can't remember. I think the trequartista has moves into channels. The complete forward definitely does. There's another chance, a very, very similar series of chances coming through. Second phases are set pieces. Not really something that we can build a whole system around, as Beraldo does something stupid. We go dilly ding, dilly dong for a win. Well, let's see if we get there first. We have thrown away stronger positions before. I mean, that's reasonably okay. Ball share, yeah. Again, we can definitely improve on where we are at the moment. I'm going to drop that down. Roy has played well, but he's on that yellow card. We're going to see what Siklic is like. Elena Kane has scored 1 goal, but has been a little bit disappointing. I mean, he's only scored 1 goal in like the last 10 games or something. He hasn't benefited from any of these changes, which is a shame because he scored like 12 goals in the first 7 or 8 games this season. But maybe that means that we look at some of those other players that we have our eye on. There's the Mosconi. Maybe we have that more traditional short man. So we go with like the trequartista and the false 9, and then like an advanced forward perhaps. Xerxes tries to play it through to Leao. Cut out nicely. Paonessa to Anderson. Here's Arioli. Arioli drifting out wide. Takes the defender with him. Plays it back inside to Lucchesi. He's gone all the way back to Timberavenu. Timberavenu turns, plays it into Rosario. Frigerio now. There's the ball behind. It's a lovely ball for Anderson. And that is not a goal? No, it is a goal. Look at them pump. That is a sensational pass. Absolutely gorgeous here. But why? That's the left-sided defensive midfielder. So that's Xerxes at all the times there. That's our right-sided defensive midfielder, Nico. Close to Arioli. That makes sense. Siklic, I assume, should be on Frigerio. No point. Absolutely no point is he in position. Now, still, like, that is a sensational ball. Look at that. Absolutely beautiful. As the pressure is coming, he threads it through a needle. So, Frigerio. We've got a press on him. We're not tight marking, so that might be something to do with it. However, let's just say, crazy idea that you deal with the man in the specific position in front of you. I know it's hard to believe. In fact, right, Siklic goes back into midfield there. Hisuki was caught flat-footed. So we're going to bring on Bove for Hisuki. We're going to bring on Carmona for Elenikena. Let's see how we get on. Right, Theo with the throw, and it's going to be another penalty. Another penalty. Our third open play penalty in 4 games, potentially. Theo scored twice already. He's missed in the last game, in the last stream even. And Pau Nessa is off. Right, if we miss this penalty, Spal are going to win this with 10 men. There we go. That's the end of the game. Oh my. This is amateur, really, man. Like, really. By momentum, currently, we haven't seen any shifts in that regard. We don't expect to see shifts in that regard. What we need to be mindful of is when those highlights come. Okay, we've got reasonable defensive structure there. That's what we want to see. Bove, come on, Bove. He plays it out to Theo, decides not to hit it. Yeah, Leao goes down. Van der Merch now. Chance to come away. Anderson. Poor pass. Profundi steps in. Profundi with a shot. It's an easy save for Blackledge. So yeah, I want to be mindful of when we get ourselves quite exposed. It looks like we're okay in this regard as Beraldo. Beraldo steers in the header. That's 3-1. We've got to feel a little bit safer now. But I'm still not counting anything out. Theo across to Siklic, back to Theo to Siklic. Nobody wants to do anything, just pass the ball around the edge of the area. Theo. Hey, we passed to someone else. It was Beraldo. It was a defender. That's not necessarily a helpful pass, but you like a little bit of variety now and then, right? Here's Beraldo. Beraldo down the line to Theo. Now, the times when we should pass it to Siklic, we seem not to. Oh, come on.
Oh wow, look at me now. I'm solving all my problems with Rafael Leao. Oh, Rafael Leao.
That is a silly goal. Just the goalkeeper not reacting to the deflection, comes off the post, dribbles along the line. The goalkeeper still doesn't bother reacting, and Leao, absolutely no doubt, from 1 yard out with zero pressure. Now I feel comfortable. Right. Ruggieri on for Theo. Balieri on for Profundi. And we don't have any more subs, so that will be the last changes there. See out the result, please, lads. Right, here's Rafael Leao to Ruggieri. Bove plays it back. Okay, Nico with a shot from distance. Balieri, it's bouncing around everywhere, and Spal managed to get it clear. Pressure still on though. Ruggieri tries sending it in. Cross is blocked. Ruggieri once more. Bove to Siklic to Nico. Nico to Balieri. Ruggieri finally takes a shot, and it's always curling away from goal. Raphael Nugent. Indeed. that was, I mean, you kind of get it. If you're David Nugent, you'd kind of do the same. Like, you know that chance isn't that opportunity isn't coming once again. You get a chance to put yourself down in folk history, even if it is as almost like a villain, like Carmona to Baleari to Theo. Here's Bove. Now you should shoot. Bove shoots into the defender. So I'm wondering whether we just take more risks to a handful of players or be more expressive back on. Not for this game. This game's over, that's fine. But in terms of the amount of times we see them just passing it between the same players on the edge of the area, not trying to even look forwards. Granted, when we played slightly more direct passing, well, not just not as short passing, what we saw was them not get the ball at all. So I suppose it's better than nothing in that regards. So man, sometimes it stinks being American. My first thought hearing Raphael Nugent was to wonder how the Motor City madman got into the equation. I mean, I imagine that Ted Nugent would also be the kind of person to steal a goal from 1 centimetre out. So I think I'm being generous to him as well, let's be fair. Yeah, okay, a win is a win is a win. We were not great. Fusari's gone to be a backup at Lazio. Interesting. Okay. So that doesn't actually move the needle. The game against Sassuolo is next week. We're down to... How are we down to 4th? Because Lazio have played another game. I was going to say, we jumped above Lazio by beating them, but they've played another game. Okay, that makes sense. Cool. Right, okay. Okay. Right, I see where we are now. Understand that. So Robert Sanchez is top of clean sheets, Ladislav Almasi fan. Crazy, isn't it? Crazy, crazy stuff. Lewis Hall is joint second in assists. Or, well, joint third in assists. Man, it's Victor Osimhen. Elena Kane. Let's have a look at his form. So we've got spells here. We've got a goal and assist there, 2 assists there, a goal back against Salzburg, 2 goals against Catanzaro. But everything else has been kind of a little bit iffy. He did have a spell where he was out injured, which kind of makes sense. With Gusto as well. It's crazy, eh? Crazy. Right. That, ladies and gentlemen, is where we're going to call it a night. I think that we've got the Arsenal PSG game about to start in a few moments, so it seems like a good spot to break, especially as we've got a break coming up in about 3 minutes time, and I don't want us to go on a break and then come back and then leave. I just feel like that's a bit of a dickhead move to do. So yeah, thank you very much all for coming along. We're back tomorrow evening. It should be around 5 PM British summer time that we'll start. Then it might be 10-15 minutes later than that, depending on when I get home. But yeah, that should be cool, and we'll be back on Friday evening as well. So a massive thank you everyone for coming by. I will be closing the stream over on YouTube first, and then we will go and find somebody glorious and wonderful to raid. So YouTube, thank you very, very much for dropping on by. If you guys haven't already, why not go on over and check out the latest Moneyball Clinic video. I think it's really, really good. I'm really, really happy with it. It's allowed me to discuss some of the stuff that I would normally take on a longer video. Yeah, if you're not going to come and join us on a raid, go and check out that video. That should be good fun. So YouTube, good night.